Hi, it's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and here on YouTube you know me as Epic Fantasy. And this is my latest tutorial. This is a fun little overview tutorial. I don't go into any real depth with it, but what I do show you is how to make one of these plastic military models like this. They come in a box with 100 different parts or more. I show you that process of how that is done, how you put the pieces together. You know, it's kind of, I love something like this. And then in the second half of the video, I show you how to make a little diorama for it. And this one is called Crossroads, because our tank and our little tank crew is at a crossroads. So if you've never done something like this, this is the perfect video for you, because I give you an overview of how something like this is done. And I show you some of the basic techniques. Thanks for watching my videos. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing. If you're not, hit that button. Always lots of fun and interesting projects. I do 2 new videos every week. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up. Let's launch into the introduction. Oh, and I have a quick little animation here for you too, you might like. And then let's do how to make a plastic military model and a quick little diorama to go with it. Thank you. Dioramas, origami, catapults, and treasure shades, telescopes, terrariums, bonsai trees, and paper games, swords and shields, and real blacksmithing, model rockets, animation. I teach the art of real creation. StormTheCastle.com. Let's make something. Okay, we're going to take a look at this. And what I'm going to show you is just a few of the basics about when you're making a plastic military model like this, which is a lot of fun. And then I'm also going to show you a little bit about making a simple and easy diorama to go with it, so you can put it in the scene. So here you go, open up the box, and what do we got? We get some large parts, some small parts. Those are the tank tracks. And these are called sprues. And all the pieces are on that. And it comes with some directions, some painting instructions on how to paint it, recommended painting, and some decals. The tools you'll need is some special cement, plastic cement, some cutters and some tweezers, maybe a magnifying glass. So let's go ahead and I'll show you a little bit about how this is done. The instruction would tell you on sprue A, grab a certain piece. See that A there? So you would grab that piece and you would cut it off either with clippers, some kind of side cutters, or with a sharp hobby knife like this. Really simple. You know, you just go step by step. Cut the piece off and glue it to another piece. And you know, the stuff is how this glue works. It actually melts the plastic. Yeah, it really does. And then it forms a really strong bond because the pieces of plastic are actually melted together. So you just put some glue on the pieces and then stick them together and hold them in place for a few seconds, so it holds. Simple as that. I'm not going to show you a whole lot of the gluing. You kind of get the idea of it. And you would make sub-assemblies, and you'd put those together. And like this, there's a little sub-assembly of the drive sprocket. Those are glued together. And some parts for some models don't even get glued, like this. The spade here is supposed to move, so it just sits in 2 grooves. And like the turret on this tank doesn't get glued to the tank, it slides in and then it can rotate so you can move it. And I'll show you the tracks. Even the tracks move. Like this. See? Kind of neat. So even the little soldiers have different various little parts you can glue together. Including like things like you put their canteens on, you glue the canteens on them, and you glue the helmets on them, and it's fun. So that's it. So you got to take your time with this. It's detail work. And it'll take you a few hours to do. But you know, kits like this are a lot of fun, and they make them for just about every military vehicle that's ever been made. See, and even the mortar. It comes in different pieces that you put together. And then after that, once it's all together, we'd go ahead and paint it. You know, the overall olive drab paint for the tank. And there's a few little details like black. The gun turrets are black, the gun steel, and the tracks are black. And the instructions tell you what colors to do as a recommendation if you want it to be authentic to the real tank. And some people like to paint a lot of stuff while it's still on the sprue. It makes it easier to handle it. So now decals. They even come with decals, and these decals are kind of neat in that you cut them out of the sheet and then you soak them in water. It softens them up and loosens them. And there's a glue on those, so then you peel them off the paper onto your tank and then dry them off, and that's how it sticks. See, so that's it. We've built everything. I've done all the painting. Looks good. Put all the decals on. From here, I'm not going to do any of this, but weathering is a big thing that people like to do. Like they will add mud to the tracks or maybe a little bit of rust or something like that. And I do have tutorials of that on the website. So let's make a little quick and easy diorama. I had no idea what I was going to do. I just kind of grabbed a board. I said, this is a good size board. And then I started moving the pieces around to come up with a concept. And I like this. And I said, hey, what if we're at a crossroads? So I drew in a crossroads. And said this light tank is waiting at the crossroads. So let me show you how we do a little bit of basic terrain for a diorama. I mix up some glue and water, about 50-50 each. So that's just plain old white glue with some water. And you mix it all together well. And then brush that on where you want your terrain texture to adhere. And for right now, we're just doing this first step is we're just doing the crossroads, the actual roads. So I chose a color of turf that's about like a road, a dirt road. And I do have tutorials on how to make your own terrain textures out of a variety of different materials, including foam and pencil shavings even. See, so now watch this. See what happens? Shake it off and the glue, the texture adhered just to where the glue was. Very nice, I like that. And you can really get into the details of this. But this is just a basic diorama for us. So now we're going to do the grassy section. All the rest of it is grass. And I'm going to use 2 different colors of grass. It gives it a nice, a more realistic look. So it's not as uniform. Weeds and green grass. And then sprinkle that on too. And then watch this. There you go. The basic terrain is done. So now we'll add some bushes. See whereabouts we're going to be. I want to take a look at it here. How these guys are going to be positioned. So now a little bit of glue where you want the bushes to go, and then stick those right on there. And you can see here too that I have two different colors of bushes. It just makes it look so much better. Don't keep the colors uniform if you can't help it.
Oh, it's okay.
And I ended up adding a lot more, you can see. I even added more than this you see in this video. But now we put a road sign for the crossing. And I use a 1/4-inch dowel and put that in there. And then I made up the road signs. And glued those on. That looks good. So that's it. So now let's set it all in place and finish it. I glued down all the little figures, but I did not glue down the tank so people could pick it up and look at it. And now one quick tip here that you might want to know is that you want to seal all this terrain up, kind of nice. See, there we go. Let's take one last look first, and I'll give you the tip. But, to prevent that terrain from, over time, from kind of crumpling off or falling off, drying up and falling off, what you can do is you can mix white glue 50-50 with water and put it in a spray bottle and then spray it on the terrain. Like this, and that'll really adhere it and set it all in place so nothing comes apart over time. Thanks for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing to my channel. If you're not a subscriber, hit that button. I always have lots of fun and interesting and very creative projects. I do 2 new ones every week. As an example, here's a couple more videos you might want to watch.